So guys, welcome back to another video. This is a VSauce reaction. I don't react to his channel much, but he's one of those icons of YouTube, like from the past, and he's still here in the present, like producing absolute bangers. I mean, 8 million views in less than a month, bro. This guy's clear, and he is like the YouTube GOAT for like sort of scientific type videos, I guess, or just these random type videos where you look into stuff like this. And this is one of those topics that's weird because I've always thought to myself, like you look at how people even looked like 100 years ago, like old movies and like old films, should I say? God, I'm turning American English now. With like, obviously the colors are black and white, so it probably makes it look even older. But it just seems to look, people just seem to look older in the past. But I don't actually know if it's true. It probably isn't. But maybe it is, and we're going to learn this. But it's just one of those topics that's kind of weird because you can see a lot of people probably thought the same thing. But yeah, we're going to get into this reaction. Hopefully, going to enjoy. And thank you for the support on the Patreon. I don't know if this is going to be a YouTube reaction because I feel like this might get blocked. But if not, maybe I'll post it on there in future. But for now, this is a Patreon reaction. And yeah, as always, thank you for the support. But let's get into this video and see what he has to say.
Hey, VSauce. Michael here.
Oh, that intro, I've missed it.
At the age of 18, Carl Sagan looked like a teenager. But it doesn't take long in an old high school yearbook to find teenagers who look surprisingly old. These people are all in their 20s.
What?
But so are these people.
Bro. Drugs, man. Don't do drugs, kids. And when I say that, these probably do the same thing. To be fair, he looks relatively old as well. He looks young as hell, but yeah. So does he, to be honest. But God, that is... Bro! What?
This is Elizabeth Taylor when she was just 17. And here are some high school students from the 70s. Did people used to look older?
Okay, don't say this man's 15 years old. Don't do that to me.
Brandon McCarthy asked on Twitter, and evidence poured in. People shared photos of their parents in their early 20s, their dad at 21.
Don't. I mean, there's people that are just unfortunate, ain't there? I mean, I probably don't look the youngest, but like, no way they are 23.
Their dad at 21.
Oh my
Their
days.
mom at 18 or 19.
Bro, she looks like a 40-year-old woman. I feel like I'm being quite mean, but honestly, like, what?
Their dad at 45.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
One user shared their husband at 27 and what his father looked like at 23.
Wait, that's just they got the same genes. I mean, what?
And there's pretty much an entire subculture around how old footballers looked decades ago. 24, 31.
Oh, that she said football players. Come on, Michael VSauce the GOAT. Let's go, man. Oh, this guy is a king.
Ago. 24, 31.
They're all Italian footballers, aren't they?
29,
Ipswich. Near me.
27. It's not uncommon to think that there's something more grown up about the way people used to be. To look back and think that people...
This is the most flipping Stranger Things-esque looking group of people possible. Well, it is set in the 80s, so it makes sense, but
older at a younger age than they do now. Let's call it retrospective aging. It doesn't happen to everyone. People do not and never have aged similarly, and there's even the opposite. People do not and never...
Dua Lipa's dad, I can see where she gets it from, because she is beautiful, but to be fair, Prince William, I feel like he used to be quite a good looking man, and he just got hit different. And I mean, he could go to Turkey if he wants to, he can get that hairline sorted, but he just doesn't seem to be blessed. But maybe just some people don't age as well, that's just a thing. But 52, there's no, I mean, that's just a inconsistency there, man, because he has aged like an absolute fine wine, that's for sure.
Aged similarly, and there's even the opposite observation that kids these days grow up too fast. But it's a popular question and subject of numerous memes. So, is it real? Or is it an illusion fueled by cherry-picked examples that feeds rosy nostalgia for a time when people were tough and didn't have it as easy as you kids have it now? Well,
the stress of the olden times, yeah.
Both. humans today really are aging more slowly than their historic counterparts. Changes in lifestyle, nutrition, smoking habits, healthcare, early life conditions, and skincare, particularly the use of sunscreen, are a huge part of it. By comparing measures of metabolic, cardiovascular, inflammatory, kidney, liver, and lung function across time, researchers at Yale and USC have found that we are, in fact, staying younger for longer than we used to. So does that mean that 60 is the new 50? Almost.
That's kind of wild,
Their results suggest that between the early 90s and the late 2000s, 60 became the new 56. 40 became the new 37 and a half, and 20 became the new 19. Oh, also...
So wait, you're saying I'm still 20 years... I'm still pretty much a teenager as I've just turned 21. Let's go, man. I'm still a kid. I mean, still 19, so you're still an adult, but still...
Last century, dentistry and orthodontics have played a huge cosmetic role in the kinds of faces we see in parts of the world. But, interestingly, when faces in magazines are measured from the 1930s to today, the only significant change has been that across all ethnicities, the media is now exposing us to larger lips. Also, retroactive aging can occur over short time spans. When I was a freshman, the seniors in my high school seemed so old to me. But by the time I was a senior myself, I looked in the mirror and at my peers and I was like, we're them now, but we don't seem as old as they did. What's going on isn't just about bodies. First of all, the seniors I looked at when I was a freshman truly were older than me at that time. They graduated and went away, and later, when I was a senior, I saw myself as I was. But in my mind's eye, I saw the earlier seniors as they appeared to me when I was younger. Retrospective aging seems to also be about perspective. Let's go back to this tweet. This is George Wendt playing Norm on the TV show Cheers. Now, when Cheers premiered, Wendt was indeed 34, but I looked it up, and this image is actually from episode 24 of season 5 when Wendt was 38. So we're not comparing apples to apples here.
But
however,
still.
This is an image of George Wendt at 34, and Ashley Fairbanks made some alterations and a good point. However, here's the rub. These alterations don't make Wendt look more like a 34-year-old. They make him look more like a 34-year-old today. Similarly, giving the Golden Girls modern-day hairstyles and makeup drops their apparent age a lot. Superficial styles and mannerisms can often make not just a big difference, but all the difference, which supports the hypothesis that retrospective aging is often an illusion. Modes of self-expression are always changing. Clothing, hairstyles, accessories, makeup, mannerisms, language, body language. Now, modes can come back, but never exactly. The context is always a little bit different. And from what's available or acceptable at any one time, we each draw ways of appearing or being in the world. And even if you don't care about how you look or think about how you act, what options you even have are dictated by what's currently popular or normal or being pushed on people like you. Few of us stay at the stream, drawing what's new all our lives. For various reasons, we often wander away with our catch. Perhaps it's because we settle into an identity we're comfortable with, or fear the taboo of not dressing our age, or simply run out of time to care. But when we're gone, the stream keeps changing, and we get older and continue to use the mannerisms and styles we grabbed a while back. Eventually, to whatever those styles initially evoked, a new connotation is added. Old person. Not because the look or behavior is intrinsically for the elderly, but because those who use it, us, became old ourselves. If you want to look older, what do? Well, you can dress the way older people dress.
That's an
And
interesting
the thing
point.
is, that's often how they used to dress too. We think people looked older in the past because they look the way old people do.
Oh, okay. And it is interesting because you do change how you dress the older you get. Like, I'm not gonna dress the same as I am as a 21-year-old as I will do probably as someone who's 35. Like, it's just, or even 40. I don't know, but it does change because you can't dress up in like, I don't know. You can, but like if you're like a 50, I'm from like a 59-year-old granddad. I can't wear like, I can, but tracksuit bottoms or just like certain shoes, like flashy shoes. I feel like I just look a bit out there, But yeah, it's an interesting point, and how people used to dress back in the past, kind of thing,
Today,
makes them look older.
Dale Irby, a gym teacher at Prestonwood Elementary School in Dallas, Texas, posed for his first yearbook photo in 1973. The following year, he accidentally wore the same outfit again. He says he was embarrassed at first, but his wife Kathy challenged him to do it again. So he did. And he never stopped.
No way. That's
what
legendary.
He gave us is a great, exaggerated example of how what once connoted
Wow. That is wild. Wait, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 10, 20, 40. So this is 40 years. You just see. Oh my god, that is wild. This is crazy to look at, This is cool though. I like that she said for him to do that. Bro, that's cool.
Youth comes to be associated with old age. The people we keep seeing a style on get older and older themselves until we think of the style itself as being for old people. Retrospective aging, then, is double-pronged, both real and illusory. People in the past really did age faster than us because of differences in nutrition and lifestyle and medicine, but much, if not most, can be chalked up to the fact that we think people like this are dressed like old people. But that's an anachronism. They're
Yeah.
dressed like old people from the future.
Yeah.
The old people they would become. Has anyone ever dressed like a young person from the future?
So actually, what I was saying a minute ago about like how I'm gonna change how I dress, will that actually happen? Does that happen? Like, or will I just dress the same, but it will just? Oh, that's weird. That's blowing my mind because, like, he's dressed. I don't know. It's weird to me. I'm kind of confused now, bro. This is actually blowing my mind more than it should do.
Well, it happened in 1940. Anyone ever dressed like a young person from the future? Well, it happened in 1941 at the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Canada. A crowd came out to celebrate and photos were taken. In 2010, the photos were digitized and placed online. That's when this guy was noticed, a time-traveling hipster. Why a time traveler wouldn't bother to blend in, and why, with all of history to visit, he chose the reopening of a bridge in the 40s, no one knew. The photo was confirmed to be undoctored, and researchers put forward the idea that this man was not, in fact, a time traveler, that his shirt wasn't an ironic screen print, but simply bore the logo of the Montreal Maroons, a nearby hockey team at the time. They said his sunglasses and knit sweater were not unusual for the 40s, nor was his portable camera. The only thing that was unusual about him was how casual his attire was. And they're probably right.
Because they were all dressed like really formal, and he's just dressed like that's sort of how people are now. They're just dressed casually.
But this all raises the exciting possibility that someone out there right now, possibly even you, is unknowingly dressed like people in the future will. And your appearance in photos will someday freak them out.
Yeah.
It might be fun to start dressing even more casually or in some other odd way on the off chance that you happen to nail it, and years from now you are worshipped as a time traveler. Oh, that reminds me of today's sponsor.
Oh, come on. Let's go. Getting his money. Curiosity box as well. I always see stuff for this. It's quite interesting. Especially for a channel. It's probably a very good sort of link. But alright, let's go here. Getting his money. You love to see it, man.
And open neurons. Wow. Whoa! Who's that guy? Does he look like a Bill, a Mark, a Justin, or a Josh? Pause right now if you'd like to think about it.
He does look like someone. He looks like the most... Bro, I don't know. I can literally picture this face on someone, but I can't say who. That's annoying me, man. Is that the most like common
According
face
to
or
research
something?
from Millsaps College and Miami University, this is Mark. Or at least, this is what we think people named Mark look like. By
I should
asking
have guessed.
people to make and rate digitally created faces, researchers were able to put together prototypical faces for a number of different names. This is apparently what we think a Josh looks like. A Bill, a Justin, a Dan, a Brian, a Tom, an Andy. The idea that
Bro,
names
Andy's
might
got a
conjure
skinny
certain
head.
facial
Andy?
Tom and Andy.
Tom looks angry. Bro.
The idea that names might conjure certain face shapes in our minds isn't that strange. For example, there's Wolfgang Kohler's famous finding that when asked which of these shapes is named Booba and which is named Kiki,
Booba, Kiki.
people of all different ages and cultures and languages overwhelmingly assign Kiki to the spiky
Let's
one
go.
and Booba to...
See, for me, it's Booba sort of like, because it's quite like blubbery, I don't know, just like sort of not sharp, and Booba I just sort of associate with
the
that.
blobby one.
There
And
we
sure
go.
enough, it certainly seems to work with names too. Which one of these men is Tim and which is Bob?
I mean, I'm going to say him Bob and him Tim, because I just see sort of Bob, I sort of receding hairline, no hair, that's how I sort of see it.
Well, almost unanimously people feel like this is Tim
Yeah.
and this is Bob. But are these men actually named Tim and Bob? Well, there's the rub. Just because we associate certain names, certain sounds, with certain shapes, doesn't mean we're right. There's no such thing as a biological name. If a person still goes by the same name they were given as a baby, long before anyone knew what they would look like as an adult, well, surely there won't be a connection. But as it turns out, there is. Believe it or not, in a multiple choice setting, people can guess a stranger's name just by looking at their face. More often than we would expect from luck alone.
No one would guess
It's
my
called
name.
the face name matching effect. Here's
If you had to guess, what would you say my name is? Maybe like a Jack?
stimulus from Zwebner's research.
Wait, what did he say?
Matching effect. Here's a stimulus from Zwebner's research. Do you think this man is named Jacob?
I was going to say Xavier. So Jacob.
Dan, Joseph, or Nathaniel?
So I said Xavier, like it's a sort of Spanish name. So Joseph is what I'm going for.
By just randomly picking a name, people should get this right 25% of the time. But Zwebner found that people picked the correct answer, Dan, nearly
Oh, wow.
40% of the time.
I was not there.
What's going on? Can names actually cause us to grow to look a certain way? Well, apparently they can. It has been called a Dorian Gray effect. In Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, a portrait of the protagonist ages and grotesquely reflects his evil deeds while he himself remains young and pure-looking. In a similar way, it seems that in some cases, our own appearance can come to reflect the name we were given. But I kind of think it's really more of a reverse Dorian Gray effect. I mean, in the book, Dorian's reality affects the appearance of his portrait, but the face name matching effect goes the other way. A inanimate sign, a name, influences our actual physical appearance. Well, anyway, it's not news that a person's name can lead others to have certain expectations of them and treat them accordingly. It's been found, for example, that multiracial faces given European names are rated as looking more European than the same faces are when presented with non-European names. The expectations a name carries with it may create a self-fulfilling prophecy, whereby as a person grows up, they're motivated to fulfill those expectations, carry themselves in ways people think someone with their name should, and even like, dislike, accentuate, hide, use, and avoid different parts of their face and body depending on whether or not those parts match their name. It's been found that faces and names that match are emotionally liked more than faces and names that don't. Analysis of voting data has shown that senatorial candidates earn 10% more votes when their names fit their faces very well than when they fit very poorly.
Wait, what?
Now, with that in mind, part of the effect could literally come from the fact that although parents don't know what their kid will look like as an adult, the parents do know what they look like, and without knowing it, tend to prefer names that match their faces, which are likely to resemble their child's face as well. But not always. If the dissonance is too great, a person can always change their name, either completely or by simply choosing a nickname. If I had been just a little bit different, Michael, could have always gone by Mike. The fact that people can adjust their names to fit them, of course, merely strengthens the face name matching effect.
It's true.
By studying whether the correct name could be guessed when different parts of a face were occluded, researchers were able to develop heat maps showing which parts of the face different names are most characteristically associated with.
What the heck?
Apparently, looking like an Anne is all about the tip of the nose. It's the bridge of the nose for Arthur's, and the philtrum, or snot trough, for Benjamin's. Aurélies are recognized by their face spiders. Let's go back to old people. How old is an old person? 73.7. That's according to results published in the Journal of American Geriatrics last year. It's the average age people gave when asked, when does old age begin? People under 65 on average said 71, and people over 65 on average said 77.
Okay, of course.
Women said
the older you get, the sort of older it will be sort of to you.
Old age began 3 years later than men did. White people said it began 8 years later than non-whites did, and people who felt healthy placed old age later in life than those who felt less healthy.
See, I'm messed up, bro. I'm like thinking to myself, but when I get to 30, I'm old. Like I get like anxiety of getting old. I really do. Like I sort of worry and just sort of all this kind of stuff. I'll miss being young, but at the same time, being 30 isn't old at all. It's just wild how I'll even have that thought. It's just mental how your mind sort of makes you think certain things, ain't it?
But how old do people want to be?
See, I want to be 20 years old or 21 years old for the rest of my life. Like I'm now thinking 22. God damn. It's just going quick. Or I would love to be like 14 again. I don't know if I want to be 14 for the rest of my life, or 13 or 12. 12 was good. God, I used to love just going out playing football every day, not caring about anything, not worrying about things, not having to have these like responsibilities, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know if I'd want to be that age for the rest of my life. 21 would probably be good because you can do anything everywhere and you're still very young, kind of thing.
Depends on how old they already are.
Yeah. But my mum, she says she's the happiest she's ever been, and she's 52 or 51. So maybe when I get older, I'll actually think to myself, I'm happy, because there are certain aspects when you age, you sort of learn certain things and you like come to understand yourself better and all this kind of stuff, and you just feel better in yourself in certain aspects, and you learn the world, you have all these experiences and stuff. So again, maybe when I'm actually at that age, I'm like, God damn, life's good now.
America, the only people who are the age they would like to be are 21-year-olds. People younger than 21 wish they were older.
People younger than... That's weird though, because when I was a kid, I hate everything, bro. Because when I was a kid, I used to just get so excited to becoming an adult or becoming 18, 20. Now I'm 20, I want to be young again. Oh, it's just, bro, the human mind is mental, bro. He's literally said 21. I'm a 21-year-old, and this literally is me.
And people older than 21 wish they were younger. People who are 40 wish they were 30. People who are 60 wish they were 40, and people who are 90 wish they were 60. When people are asked if they could be one age forever, the average American picks 36. Which is
Really?
actually how old I am right now, funny enough. Here's something else that's funny. Old people are more likely to think they dream in black and white. Not because it's part of the aging process, but because they are veterans of the great black and white dream epidemic of the 20th century.
What?
Prior to the 1900s, Aristotle, Descartes, Freud, everyone who wrote about the topic reported that dreams contained color. But as humanity moved into the 20th century, the number of people reporting color in their dreams dropped just as quickly as the popularity of new black and white movies and TV rose. By the 60s, as color TV and movies became more and more common, reports of colored dreams started going back up. And today, people who grew up with black and white TV continue to report more black and white dreams than those who didn't. And later studies across China found the same thing. The frequency of black and white dreaming correlated strongly with how common black and white TV was in a person's area. So, did black and white movies and TV literally change our dreams?
Probably, yeah.
Well, first of all, it's not clear whether dreams themselves actually changed or if people just started thinking differently about their dreams. We're trying, but we still haven't found a way to get direct access to dream content. Eric Switchable has pointed out that as far as we know, dreams may not be in color or black and white, or sepia or anything. They may be primarily indeterminate in color as they happen, and only later, during recall, do we confabulate details about color. He compares dreaming to reading. Is a novel in color or black and white? As you read a story, what do you see in your mind? It might be the case that dreams, vaporous as they are something we simply have a terrible grip on, and that movies and TV shows have given us the illusion of understanding them. In fact, Switchable has speculated that smells and touch sensations are rare in dreams today, but future people with smelly, touchy-feely VR shows might think that they dream with lots of textures and odors and find it strange, maybe even frightening, that few of us seem to.
Bro,
but why would we think that dreams were like moving pictures and not normal waking life? Well, no one knows. It might be that motion pictures are just simply the closest thing we have to dreaming that isn't dreaming. Unlike still images, paintings, photographs, tapestries, motion pictures and dreams can contain movement and narrative and cause and effect. And unlike stage plays or real life, motion pictures and dreams are not made of anything that is even remotely similar to what they depict. They're both made of phantoms. Images are uncanny things. A person in an image is frozen in time, but yet can seem to grow old. Our own image can depend on what we are called, and they're the closest thing we have to what our mind does when we're away. Do you get the picture? Or does the picture get you? And as always,
what? That got scary at the end, bro. This guy is elite, man. He is so clear of anyone. Nothing slaps harder than when that VSauce theme kicks in. Bro, this is a crazy video. We came into this video looking at if people look older. We ended up with dreaming and all this kind of stuff, and it was worth it 100%. Mate, this was a fun reaction, man. I love this sort of stuff so much, bro, because it's like you really like listen to it and then you sort of relate. You're like, wow, this is actually how I think, and it's just crazy to me. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. If you want more reactions to him or just other videos similar or whatever, let me know in the comments. And yeah, until next time.